Conventional wisdom says that you can't compare apples and oranges. Well, we say, challenge accepted. Over the past year and a half in the nebulous space known in some circles as real life, I have worked as a produce clerk at my local grocery store. And one of the things that I've learned in my time working this job is that produce comes in many different varieties, and I've been trying to experience as much of it as possible in order to better serve my customers, and I thought, hey, why not make a series out of it? Over the course of the next several months, we will be pitting various types of apples and oranges against each other. Which is strange because neither apples nor oranges have pits. Sorry. Anyway, we'll take different types of apples and oranges and compare them against each other in various categories until one fruit emerges triumphant. And for our first episode, we thought we would do something relatively commonplace, so we're looking at two fairly conventional and popular versions of these two fruits. Which one is better? Let's find out. This is Apples vs. Oranges review of the Granny Smith versus the Clementine. Now, you can't judge a book by its cover. Orange by its skin. I mean, you could. There are ways to do it, but in general, no. But we're going to try anyway. So let's start with appearance. Now, the clementine is often confused for other similar fruits like the mandarin or the tangerine, but it basically just looks like a small orange. It's orange, it has a rough skin, and it's relatively small and compact. And when you peel it, you find that the segments are already very nicely separated. It just separates very, very easily. The clementine is also a pretty sturdy fruit. Apples are notoriously kind of fragile. You drop them and they bruise really easily. But the clementine will continue looking good even if the quality isn't the greatest. The Granny Smith apple is quite possibly one of the most recognizable. It's the one that's bright green. Sometimes the skin will have a pinkish blush depending on what the temperature was when it was harvested. This one doesn't. But green is the predominant color nonetheless. And I find this green, smooth skin very appealing. Partly because my favorite color is green, but also because it just looks better to me than the mottled orange of the clementine. And sure, it doesn't look as good when it's bruised, but wouldn't you rather have a fruit that advertises when it's not as good? I would. So, for that reason, Granny Smith wins this round. Next, we'll look at the maintenance of each fruit and how much of a commitment it is to eat one. As previously mentioned, the clementine is a sturdy fruit. It lasts a long time, whereas the Granny Smith apple bruises kind of easily. In addition, the clementine is nice and compact. It makes for a nice, easy snack. There are no seeds or core to worry about. All you have is the skin, which, unlike other oranges, peels really, really easily. There's a reason why the clementine is commonly marketed towards kids. It makes a nice, healthy snack. However, the skin can be problematic, and the clementine does make a bit of a mess. Like most oranges, it's very juicy, and there's simply no way to peel the thing without getting sticky all over your hands. The Granny Smith apple's a little messy too, don't get me wrong, and it does leave the core behind, but it's not as messy, and I find it much easier to throw the core away after eating the fruit than throw the peel away before eating it. Plus, the flesh of the Granny Smith is particularly resistant to browning, unlike a lot of apples, and so you can actually take your time a little bit more with this one. So while the clementine does make a nice easy snack, I find that the Granny Smith makes a slightly better one. But now we really get into things and talk about the fragrance. The Granny Smith apple doesn't really smell like anything. I mean, there's a little bit of an apple smell there, but it's not super strong. Well, the clementine smells like an orange. Oranges smell lovely. I win. And now the moment we made this video for: texture and taste. Granny Smith apple is known for strong texture and taste. It's a very crisp apple, it has a very pleasing crunch to it, and it's also a tart apple. In fact, it's known for it. Sour apple flavor, it's a Granny Smith. That's why the color of sour apple flavor is typically green. And this might not be to everyone's taste, but it's a really good apple if you like sour flavors. The clementine is very sweet and very juicy. Probably one of the most pleasing fruits to eat. The Granny Smith, on the other hand, it's kind of an acquired taste. If you don't like tart fruit, then you're not going to like the Granny Smith. A lot of people don't care for the Granny Smith, but almost everyone likes clementines if they like oranges, and even people who don't really care for most oranges still like clementines. So for universality alone, clementines win this round. And now we come to the deciding factor, versatility. It's one thing to have a good tasting fruit, but how many uses can you get out of it? The clementine is mostly an eating fruit for snacks and the like. You can break up the segments and put them into salads, but it's primarily snacking. And the peels make for nice potpourri. There you go. Salads, snacking, and potpourri. The Granny Smith apple, on the other hand, is everywhere. Maybe not everyone likes eating it raw, but the Granny Smith apple is one of the most common cooking apples available. It's desirable because of its crispness, its tartness, and its strong flavor. The crispness assures that it's not going to just fall apart and become mush under extreme heat. The tartness offers a nice contrast to the sugar that you're often going to use when cooking apples. And the strong flavor ensures that the apple flavor is still going to come through after you cook it. Granny Smith apples also mix well with other foods, like peanut butter. I mean, clementine and peanut butter? Gross. Other oranges are versatile in other ways, but the clementine really isn't. You can't juice it. Salads and snacks are pretty much it. But the Granny Smith apple is a great cooking apple and a great eating apple. It just wins across the board, and that is why I believe the Granny Smith apple to be the superior fruit. And it tastes great with peanut butter. This installment of Apples vs. Oranges. Next time we're going to go from the conventional to the more obscure, comparing the underrated Kanzi apple with the largely unknown heirloom navel. So, until next time, happy eating and happy April the 1st.